Welcome back, everybody. 1968 Volkswagen Beetle right here behind me up on these stands because, well, last week we took the body off and we've been working on these floor pans. I'm going to fill you in a little bit about what's going on this week. It's been a busy week again, so I've been just inching through this thing, and I mean literally inching, a little bit at a time, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. Here's the chassis here behind me. I've got one of the floor pans mounted. We'll get to it as soon as we get the video started. I'm getting tired already today. I've just been up and walking around and moving, and I was at a chicken festival this morning. Yeah, that's right, they have a festival for chickens. I brought home 2 new birds, too. We'll talk about them later in the video, but anyway, more about this, and less about peep, 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 because that's what they're doing inside right now without me. Anyways, we'll roll that intro. We'll be right back in a moment. Alright, well, we are back. We got one side of the floor pan already welded in. You can see my welds about every 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Don't go wider than 2 inches if you do this kind of stuff. All the way down the full length of the chassis. I've already put some acid in there and soaked it up. And then I put paint on it because I didn't know if I was going to get this done before it started to rain. And I didn't want to screw up all my new work because once that's sealed, there's no more water or anything that's going to rust that out and cause those things to pop. At least not in my possession anyway. We'll see what happens to it in the next 20 years, but maybe I won't even be around. We shall see. Anyways, I have to put that pan on this side now, so I've already started to clean off this flange, and you can see that some of the weld buttons still need to be ground down a little bit more, and this has already started to flash rust. And I only did that about an hour ago. There's so much humidity in the air right now, it's disgusting. It's a little hard to breathe. My clothes are soaking through, and it's not even that hot out here. It's about 80 degrees. But when the humidity gets this high, the air is just like soup. It's just gross. Absolutely gross. I mean, look at this metal even. This was all cleaned off and ready to be welded. It's already flash rusted. It hasn't even rained on it. I mean, it's just sitting out here. Just sitting out here in that weather. Anyway, I'll clean that up. I'm glad, again, that I got this all welded in and sealed up, so that way that's ready to go. But I'll keep on moving on this side. Of course, once I get the heat on it, it's not going to rust quite so easily, and it should be able to get it finished up and sealed, hopefully before it rains. Because again, rain is coming, man, because this is a part of the country. The second rainiest city in the U.S. is Pensacola. Everybody thinks it's like Seattle or something, but no, it's actually Pensacola. Mobile, Alabama is the rainiest as far as inches are concerned. Although some years Pensacola does have a hell of a head start and it nearly beats or has beaten Mobile before, especially with the rains that we had this past week. My word. I mean, the yard was just muck. Absolute muck. And this is sand. It drains off pretty easy, but it rained so much, the rain had nowhere to go. So everything just turned to muck. So I really didn't get as much time on this as I wanted. So that's why I'm still working on half of this floor pan. Anyway, I'll get this side dropped in. It's already been sized up. I don't have to cut anything on it, but I did have to do a little bending, particularly around to the rear wing over here. That was just really weird. Really weird. Like I said, I still need to do a little grinding in here. There's some places in here where some of the tarboard, as I was grinding, started to melt and get into the metal, so I have to take that off too. So if I get in there with a wire wheel or wire brush or something, I should be able to come off. So I'll get that tacked down in. That's literally what it is. It's a tack about every inch or two. No more than 2 inches, no less than 1. And we're sitting, most of them, right around 1.5, 2 inches. So I think we're good in that department. Otherwise, that's about ready to go. And I need to start doing the heater channels on this thing. We're supposed to have, after this rain, a string of really, really cool days coming up. And if I get lucky, and that really does happen, that means I'm going to be able to turbocharge through this thing and push it hard next week. And that means the next video on this might be the heater channels getting done in their entirety. Which means I might even get done with the car a little bit early because, like I said, with the weather changing, I'm going to push as hard as I can. Because it's starting to warm up here and it's not nice. Not nice. What we're going to do on this heater channel, for anybody that's curious, is we're going to cut, of course. We've got to take out all the crusty stuff first. And I'm going to come about 1/4 inch over from the B-pillar here and cut straight down to this. You see this corner down here? This is where the metal overlaps. I'll cut down to that or maybe even just a little bit past it. Okay? Straight down. And then we'll do the same thing over here on this side. We'll cut straight down into that heater channel and cut down to this corner that you see here. So just past that. Then we'll take this door, we'll close it, which, by the way, this thing is opening and closing a lot better now because I made some adjustments to it and the door works well. Although, when it comes to cutting out the heater channels, I'm probably going to have to do all of it all over again. But you remember the gaps are all screwed up? This was nearly touching, and the other side is actually pinching tight. I got the gaps opened up, and I got this gap closed up, so it's a lot better than it was. I mean, the door opens like silk right now. It's just silk. It's perfect. Nonetheless, when I cut all that away, I'm going to have to do it again anyway. But once we've got that into this position and those notches are cut, then I need to weld this door shut. What I'll do is I'll put a sacrificial piece of metal in here, and I'll take off a little bit of the paint. I put a weld here, I put a weld right about here, and right around on the bottom. And that will hold the door nice and straight. And what the door is going to do is it's going to keep the chassis square, because I know where this needs to line up. If you take the door and have it open, or off, as I've seen some people do, what happens is this gap here on the bottom will open up or close up or something. And then when they go to close the door, it doesn't close. Or their gaps are all screwed up. They're real pinched on the bottom, or they're too wide on the bottom. Things aren't perfectly parallel as they should be. So, got to do that. Now some people might say, hey, why don't you just brace it? Well, I'm bracing with the door. But I'm only going to do one side at a time. In the past, I've always braced everything up and worked on both sides and left the doors on. And it was really hard to get in and out, because when you put a big old X inside of here to hold this thing shut, well, a big guy like me has to duck and get under this thing, which is not easy, or you have to step through that X somehow and get in the car, which again is not easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one side at a time. So we're going to get this side welded on, get the door on there, square, and then we're going to go around the other side, and we can make egress into the car. Is that the right word, egress, or is that an exit? I don't remember. Ingress, egress, ingress is in, egress is out. Anyway, somebody down below in the description, or video comments rather, tell me what I've said wrong as far as my vocabulary is concerned. We'll take that heater channel out, because we'll step through this door with that one all braced up, and then we'll cut. And you can see right there is a line. See the line right above that squishy seam sealer? I'll cut through that line all the way to here. And then where that bolt is at, there's actually an ear that comes down. So I'll cut around that and then up to that notch that I had just made. And then same thing over here, we'll cut right around there, and then we'll cut through, put the exposure up a little bit here, and you see that line through here, we'll cut through that, probably about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch on this side, and then chop off the end. The end will be a little sloppy, but that's okay, we'll get back to it. And then the last cut, which I actually should have shown before, technically it wouldn't have been the last cut if I did it in the right order, ooh, almost fell down, is right over here, where we cut these two panels apart. This is the heater channel, here's the kick panel, and you can see this line along here. So I'm going to cut about 1/4 of an inch below that line. And then at that point the whole heater channel should fall out. It shouldn't be hung up on anything else, it should pretty much just drop. And once it does, then it's out of place. Then we can fit up the new one, which is still bolted to this floor pan over here. But I'll take that off that floor pan. It's only held in by a few bolts. Hold it up into place. I'll probably take a floor jack and a couple blocks of wood, just lift it, bloop, get it right where it needs to be, make sure the door is not screwed up, and then I'll start my welds, of course not being able to open the door, but I'll start my welds here and here, so that way I get that door straight. Wherever the rest of it falls really doesn't matter so much, as long as that gap on that door is good to go. So once I get those welds started, then we'll fill in, running along the lines. And you can see all the little spot welds are actually here, but after we've ground off all that metal, we can punch holes in that, or we can weld right at the edge of it, because this is good solid metal. These kick panels in this car are actually in really, really good shape. The only big concern I have with any real rust that I'm going to attach to is, no, it wasn't this side, it's the other side. The other side's got a bad corner over here. This right here, this one. This is where the heater channel attaches, and he's got a new section of this sail panel here, like a big triangular section for this. I'm probably only going to use a little piece of it. I'll cut it back as much as I need to. This is, whoa, look at that. Okay, I guess we're cutting it back, probably the whole bottom of it is coming out. All right, well, we're taking that one out. It's better in here though, that side, this is shot. So we'll see how that pans out. And then of course, we got the package tray, which is what's rusting out here. Actually, that looks like it might even be a little bit of the, yeah, it's a rear quarter. No, not just package tray, so that might need a patch there. I told the guy that owns this, if I can do the rear package tray, that's pretty much just a cutaway, clean it up, and then drop the new panel in with some panel bond. It'd be really cheap. But now that I've seen that that isn't so good right there, it may not be so easy nor possible. I guess we'll see. But that looks like I'm making a patch for it. Alright, then of course I gotta get along that line that runs across there, dig into that, because it's full of all the headliner crap, and see what kind of rust we've got inside of there. If that's good, then we're actually not going to cut the entire package tray out, because there's no reason to. There's a lot of folds of metal up in here that are all pinched together. I'd rather not cut that apart, because it's kind of hard to weld. It's also very hard to get clamps and stuff on to make it work. So I'd rather not address that if I don't need to. So what I'll do is I'll probably cut along this line here, where my finger's going. There's not a line, but it's an imaginary one. Right above where that rust hole is. There's a rust hole. Where the hell is it? Yeah, it's right there. Doesn't really look like one on the camera, but yeah, that triangular looking spot is actually a rust hole. So I'll cut higher than that, lay the two panels together, sandwich them in with some panel bond, put a bag of sand or something back there to let it sit overnight, and it'll be nice and solid by morning. Doesn't even need any seam sealer, because panel bond is essentially its own seam sealer, and that should close that all up. I think I'm going to be content with things after that. Then it's just a matter of cutting the door back open, which would be the welds right along here, on the other side of course. And then I should be able to open that door once everything is good and solid. And then repeat process over here on this side. And if I really kick my own ass, and I spend some long days on it, starting right around, sun up, till the time the sun goes down, and if anybody invites me over for dinner or out for a drink or something, I'm just going to have to say no, because I need to get this car finished so we can get the next project in here. I've got a lot of electrical stuff coming up again. It's funny, electrical videos are so boring, but people actually like my electric videos and have complimented me on my electric videos. And speaking of electric videos, here's a little something else I've been working on. Alright, this is the electronics project that I was talking about, but I think it's going to be worthy of its own video. But somebody said, hey Duckman, I want my car to do this, so Duckman came up with a solution. We'll be turning this into a circuit board sometime in the near future, and we'll talk more about it in its own video, because really it's worthy of that. So stay tuned. What you doing, cheeky? I see you. I got some new girls for you to play with. Yeah, you want to run around with some girls? The only one you have to run around with is your daughter. Where is she anyway? Is she over there? Is she over there on the other side hiding with you? Yeah? I figure she might be right in here somewhere. Nope, just Cheeky. Hi, Cheeky. Where'd your girl go? Yeah, she's around. They like to go in there and dig in the soft sand, so it doesn't get very wet in there, so it's like a dust bowl always. Alright, well that's our floor pan, and I guess that's going to wrap up this video. I'll continue getting this thing welded in, and well, if it doesn't get dark first, or if it doesn't start raining first, which is actually expected, then I might come back and show you a little bit more of a finished video. Walk around this thing. Otherwise, next week's video is definitely going to be heater channels, and we're going to do step-by-step process on that, kind of like what I discussed. So that's how we're going to attack it. And well, they're not hard, but they are time-consuming, and you have to have things straight, because if they're not straight, well, your bolts don't line up, and we already demonstrated they don't line up anyway. Or your doors get messed up, and you have a crooked car. Nobody likes a crooked car. No, nobody likes a crooked car. So I guess that's it for today. So licky, likey, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to pluck that dingle bell so you get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net for all my different social media links. And we'll hopefully be back next week, if weather permits, with a big update on the heater channels and the direction that they're going on this car. Oh, I got so much to do this week. Let's hope that weather holds up and does what they say it's going to do. I'll be very happy. Thanks for watching, guys. There's the babies. One here on the right was disliked everybody else, I should say. Did not want to be around any of the chickens and was having problems with running all the other babies off and getting mad at them when they try to have food. Anyway, it didn't like any other people or anything else, so the bird was handed to me while I was having conversation. Don't do that. And the bird immediately gravitated towards me and snuggled up to me and loved me immediately. Now, I can understand your resentment for others. Yeah, I don't like everybody else either. So, nonetheless, this little one right here got adopted immediately. And then this one came from a family. They were really nice to me. Oh, nice. Be nice. Came from a family. Boy, you are really not nice to this one. I'm going to have to keep you separated if you're going to be like that. See, this is the problem this one was having. Really nasty to the other birds. Anyway, this came from a really nice family. They talked to me, and we were just friendly for a little while. And I wanted to give them a little money, you know, for their little bird. It looked like their son had hatched them and taken care of them. And this little one, I fell in love with the colors. This kind of a mottled pattern that you see on there. So, probably will have that growing up. But age, roughly 3 to 4 weeks. This one, roughly 2 weeks. So, that's where we're at. Another reason I liked her, because look at the top of her head. Looks like the top of my head. Alright, we're going to put you back if he's going to be beating you up. Well, she. Hopefully they're both girls. That's what I've been told. We'll see. Well, I got to re-record this section of video because the camera threw a SD card error. Usually it means it came loose. Biddy was standing up here, and I addressed him and was talking to him when he decided to lunge himself at me and actually spurred my pinky, but he really doesn't have sharp spurs, so in fact he hardly has any spurs left at all because he broke them off one day. While he was doing it, Solar Eclipse baby, Soul, came over here, Dookie, as we call him, it's the one that's screaming right now, came over and attacked Biddy and knocked him the hell off of me. So I got protected again by him. Here he comes right now. Look, see, they're still at it. They're still at it. Came over to protect me. But anyway, this floor pan is all done here. I got it all welded in. I got it all sealed up. Like I said, it's going to rain. It's probably going to start raining tonight. So anyway, I got all the paint and sealer in there. Hopefully it'll be dry enough by then. That's not going to disturb it. I think it'll be fine probably. But with the humidity the way it is, who the hell knows? I sure hope so, though. But I cleared off all the rust. I cleared off everything. Got it all welded shut. And, well, it's a good, strong pan. Now, these heater channels get to... What are you doing? Did that piss you off? Anyway, I gotta take these heater channels back off of here, and then they're going in the body. So we're done for tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. Screaming birds are going inside soon. Yeah, I'm done. I'm tired. Here's the little one. She was in the garage. I mean, she's probably about to pop an egg. She discovered that nest that I made for her in there, among the chicken apartments that I keep in here. Yeah, thanks, buddy. That's her father. I got somebody giving me a shed, a big wooden 2x4 shed with a steel roof. I think I'm going to throw some insulation in it and use some of the plywood that I've got to keep the noisy as fuck birds inside of something here in the yard for a safer place for them to be, and try to give me more workspace back in the garage because I don't have a workbench. It was great to get them out of the house. Into the garage is a good spot too, but anyway, I think they'd be better right there, so I'll take all that, get rid of it. That tree and stuff that's there can come down. The only reason I put it there is to give me a little privacy from the neighbors because they have a deck and they like stare right at me while I'm out here in my boxer shorts working. So, not cool. Anyway, that tree can go, so we can take it down then. But the shed won't be very much bigger than that doggy kennel that's there. That's all parallelogrammed. It's falling down because the idiots that used to climb over the fence using my yard as a shortcut decided to step on it. Caught him once with the BB gun. That was fun, but that's another story for another day. Thanks for watching.